Hello everyone, I'm Dr. D. Anil Kumar. Welcome to my channel Code Quest. One of the topics that I'm going to cover in this video is the history of Python, applications of Python, features of Python, limitations of Python, what are the flavors of Python, and what the versions of Python are. So let's begin. So history is something which we must be knowing because who has started, when it was started. So coming to Python, it happens to be a programming language. Basically, we call it general purpose programming language because it can be used for any kind of development of software, websites, and analyzing the data. Now, Python has conceived in the late 1980s by Guido van Rossum, a Dutch computer programmer. Rossum has created this Python as a successor language to the ABC programming language. And the first version of Python was 0.9.0, which was released in the February 1991. Now, coming to the various applications where Python can be used. One of the application is we can develop desktop applications by using your Python programming. We can also develop web applications. We can develop some database applications. We can develop network programming, and also we can develop the computer games. Coming to the features, why Python has been so popular and all. So there are so many features. Let us discuss one by one. It is simple and easy to learn. So what do we mean by that? When we read Python programs, we can give a feel. We can make feel like we are reading an English statement. And when compared with other programming languages, we can write programming using less number of statements. Those who are beginners, they should start Python because it is the easiest of the programming language as compared to any other programming language we have. But if you already aware of certain languages, so this Python becomes very simple for you because the programming can be reduced within a minimum number of statements. It is a freeware and open source. What do we mean by freeware? We can use this Python without any license. Usually, when you buy a software, you have to pay some amount as a part of a license. But Python, because it is a freeware, it is coming without any license. So you can use it freely. And it is open source. When we say open source, what does it mean? The source code is open to all and it can be customized based on our requirement. Coming to the third characteristics of feature, that is high-level programming language. So Python is a programming friendly language because we as a human being definitely can read and understand the instructions that are available, and we need not focus on the low-level activities. When I say low-level activity like the memory management, the security things, which I as a programmer need not look after. That's what the high-level programming language means. Coming to the next feature, portability. So we understand portability is nothing but moving something from one place to another. But how does Python has related to moving one place to another? Rather, here we say it is a platform. When I say platform, there is nothing but operating system. If you write a Python programming in one operating system, we can take it and run it in another operating system without rewriting it. That's what makes it portable. And internally, there is a machine that is called PVM, or we call Python virtual machine, which is actually responsible for converting our high-level language Python code into the machine understandable format. Now, dynamically typed. So what does mean by dynamically typed? In any of the programming language, usually to carry a data, we require a variable, and that variable must be of certain type. Let's say those who are already aware of any programming language, they must be knowing, suppose I'm trying to store a number into a variable, so I can take a variable like int followed by some variable name. Now, what is this int? That is nothing but a data type where I'm specifically writing that yes, this variable is able to hold only the numeric value. But in Python, we have a flexibility. We need not mention the data type because any variable can take any type of data. In fact, one variable can take different type of data at different point of time. So it automatically the type will be allocated by the Python. We need not mention. Now coming to the next feature, that is your both procedure oriented and object oriented. So Python is actually a blend of some procedure oriented programming languages like C, Pascal, whereas it is also comes with the features of object oriented programming languages like C++ and Java. That's why we say this is both procedure oriented and your object oriented. And because of these features, we get the benefit of security and reusability. Security is what object programming normally gives, and reusability is a feature where we write a program, a piece of code, and we can use it any number of times as per our requirement. Now, coming to the next feature, that is interpreted. Mostly, what happens, any of the programming language, either they are compiler based or interpreter based. Why do we require this? Because any programming language you deal with, whenever you write some set of instructions, they are something which are understandable to a human being. But the machine do not understand what exactly the instructions are. So in order to make the machine understand, we definitely require a translator who is going to convert our programming statements into the machine readable format. So some programming languages are based on compiler, one of the translator, and some programming language based on the interpreter as a translator. So Python happens to be an interpreted programming language because it makes use of interpreter in order to convert the high level language code into the machine readable code. And this is also, I mean, the Python virtual machine that we have, which is also responsible to do the compilation. I need not do the compilation. I will directly execute the program. Now, the Python virtual machine internally will take care of the compilation and run the program if there are no errors. If there are any errors, obviously it will take some errors for that. Now, embedded. What does embedded feature is? Now, your Python programs can be embedded or can be joined with other programming languages like C, C++, Java. I think later part we'll see there are various flavors of Python available, and the flavors have come only because of this feature, because Python is capable of joining with other programming languages. Now, extensive library. So Python has a rich set of library where a lot of built-in functions are available, which you can directly use without creating them. So this gives a flexibility for me not to think much on creating the functions, because there are so many ready-made functions available. I can definitely use them without taking the pain of creating them. Okay. Now, going ahead, so these are the features that we have gone through. Now, what actually the limitations are? So, Python has also got certain limitations. We have pointed out first one is speed. Just now we have said like it is a interpreter based language. So, how does the working principle of interpreter is? It is going to take line by line and convert or execute them. So, whereas the other programming languages which are compiler based, if I compare C language with Python, so C is a compiler based language, whereas Python is a interpreter based language. So in case of Python, because interpretation happens line by line, so its speed or is comparatively slow as compared to the other programming language. The second one is your memory consumption. In terms of the memory usage, Python mostly take the help of objects, where each object is going to take a lot of memory as compared to the other programming languages. So memory consumption is little high. Mobile development, so we cannot use Python programming for developing mobile applications. So usually, if at all you heard of Java, which is very popular in terms of developing mobile applications. Now, no built-in database. Python has no inbuilt database management system. Okay. Now, coming to the various flavors, like we said, so these flavors are available based on which language they can be embedded with. Now, there is a something called C Python, which actually can embed with C language. We have Jython, which can deal with Java language. We have Iron Python, which can deal with C Sharp or .NET, and Ruby Python, which deals with your Ruby. And Anaconda Python, this is very popular because one of the basic reason why Python is so popular because of the processing of data, which is a large in volume. Okay, so mostly this is very popular because nowadays we know that there is a lot of data available and processing is definitely required. Huge data processing is required, and Python is one of the main programming language which is used for that. Coming to the various versions of Python, so we have Python 1.0, which has started in the year 1994. Python 2.0 started in the year 2000, and Python 3.0, which has started in 2008. And currently, the version of Python is Python 3.12. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.